very low powered, it's got no ultraviolet light, it's got nothing harmful, it's probably, in terms of
We are scanning the surface of the Hereford map. It is being done with a laser scanner, which is being done, designed and programmed by us in Madrid, in Factu Marte. And effectively what is happening is that the surface of the object is being recorded with projection of a laser beam onto the relief, which is captured by two video cameras, and is converting that information into 3D data. In this system we have made everything special to be used for conservation purposes, for art objects, for paintings, for low reliefs, and this system is intended to be easy to use, easy to apply for all kinds of projects in which the surface of an object is something important to reveal.
And built this very flat looking scan head, which can be bolted very, very close to the carriage, which gets rid of all the leverage, any leverage problems. When you're solving the problem, you have to have a knowledge of lots of different things. You have to be able to have a knowledge of stresses and strains, and of optics, and of electronics, and of computing, and of radio interference. I think Factum's philosophy is to always have people working in lots of different fields, not getting stuck and bogged down into one field. If you get stuck in one field of work, you tend to go so far into the field that you lose what's the other points that are having an effect. And if you don't have an understanding of the things that are having an effect on your field, you're not going to get the thing that you want.
that's well positioned, I'd say. Good position there.
It's perfectly. You like it?
Yeah, let's go.
I think the first thing that people are confused by when they stand in front of Mappa Mundi is this huge riot of visual information that you can see. There's strange creatures, plants and animals, there's written information, it's all packed in, it's literally jammed in, and every space is alive with visual information. So what Factum are doing is actually taking all that away, so we're left with the surface of the map as an object. And I think when we start to clear that away, we're less concerned with the detail of the map and more concerned with the stories it can tell, literally the scars that it bears, which can help us understand what's happened to it through time, how it was created, how people have physically interacted with the map. All of that information is covered by the visual material that we see on the map, that was drawn on the map. So to see that start to fall away is an incredible freshness to the map, and the interpretive potential of that, what it offers people, scholars and visitors alike, to learn that early history of the map is incredible.
At Factum there's a completely obsessive interest in the surface of objects, the surface of things, and what those things can reveal when groups of people with different skills come together and can share stories and ideas and bits of information focused on what's actually there. And this morning, as we got the first tile recorded, there was a really physical sense of excitement, as you can actually see the scratch marks around the city of Paris, and perhaps looking at those, it'll be able to say, this was done by a child who was bored and waiting for their parents to come who were talking too much after the service, or this was done by one of Cromwell's soldiers with the tip of his sword trying to say, Paris is about here, or whatever. But there are many, many causes of many of the marks on the surface. And what we hope will come out of spending the 3 days recording the map is that we'll have some insight into why the surface looks like it does, and some insight into whether that's the result of something done making the map, or that's done as a result of something that's happened to the map.
As well. People are getting excited
for
about,
example.
isn't it?
Oh, there's
Well, this is the
Jerusalem.
center.
Jerusalem.
So that's the centre of the map.
Now.
At the moment, this is just a grayscale.
It's a TIFF because this is the simulation of the relief.
And so handling 3D data as a TIFF is really the breakthrough.
You can see the grain in, well, the skin would have been prepared with pumice to smooth it, but there's a real grain in there, isn't there?
That's a C.
Here, it's a sea. Okay, it is the margin of the land.
You trace that down.
Not normally visible. You see what I mean?
Yeah, no,
It's a regular kind of
when you're
fine
right,
grain
I
across
mean,
the whole surface.
you're more than 1-to-1 there, aren't you? What size is it? I mean, where's your...
No, this is 1 to 1.
Okay.
Everything makes its mark on the surface. It could be the
Dark area.
verdigris.
Texture is less,
Different ways.
let's say, noisy. That
Copper
when it's a
sulfate
clear
might
one.
sink more
Here
in.
it's
Mm.
more
Smoother.
smoother than
Yeah.
nuclear.
We know from studies of dendrochronology that the wood in the backboard dates from around the time we think the mappa was produced. It's been dated as between 1290 and 1310, which is absolutely spot on because we think the map dates from around the year 1300. Furthermore, studies of the wood have shown that it came from trees felled in this area, which is another piece of evidence for it having been made here at Hereford. And then today we have discovered in the very centre of the map, at the centre of the picture of Jerusalem, a tiny pinprick which could have been a compass point used to draw the circles that form the outside of the map. And there's a corresponding mark which has been known for quite a while to exist right in the centre of the backboard, which could mean that the map was actually on that board when it was drawn, so it would have been there for hundreds of years. And at the top, the east, you've got Asia. On the left, which is more the north and west, you've got Europe. And on the right is Africa, or what's known of Africa, which at those times was just the north part of Africa. I do like Noah's Ark, which is just a lovely image, and things like the Tower of Babel, and the part where the Israelites are wandering in the wilderness and they go through the Red Sea, and you can see a path marked out on the map where they're literally walking through the Red Sea and then wandering in the wilderness, and the path is going round and round like this, so they're retracing their steps until eventually they cross the River Jordan into the Promised Land.
That was in the email of this man.
No, it's commented.
Just thinking about the role of the new scan, really, will be an incredible facility for artists and academics who are coming to study the map. After having seen and worked with the map for many years now, it's fascinating the level of detail that people want to go into. This really does open up so many new doors for many of those researchers wanting to come back and revisit the work that they've done, but also research that will take place from this point, really.
Well, it's one big cow. So, and it's certainly not a calf, not a little calf. And it clearly isn't stitched, but you have to imagine this. So if you look at the portolans that are done on sheepskins or goat skins in Spain, I mean, they're about this big. and they're very beautiful, and they're cut into a double square with a triangular top. I mean, a little bit like this, but this is a square. It's one square and a little triangle at the top. And when you imagine the legs, the shoulders, the belly, and the whole rump have been trimmed out of that, this is one enormous animal.